With just one switch, the world would never be the same.
Beep, and I started typing and things appeared on my TV set. And I knew, oh my God, this machine is here.
The machine is better known today as the Apple computer.
So this is the product that really launched the company. This product became so successful after some other good lucky things happened. We had all the luck, but we had the foresight, and it was the finest engineering work I ever did in my life, and some very clever ideas to bring sparkle and magic and a lot of fun to computers. I am so glad for my part in making computers fun instead of boring, engineering devices.
Thus, the birth of one of the most iconic brands ever launched in the 20th century.
It was just a little thing we're doing on the side. You didn't think it was going to be a big thing in your life. You're going to make $1 million or something. No.
Little did he know. Steve Wozniak, affectionately known as the Woz, was a whiz kid who grew up in the heart of Silicon Valley.
I had a very, very lucky childhood. I was exposed to a lot of engineering principles, and I was sort of very advanced, both mathematically and school academics, and I had a ham radio license by 6th grade, so I was really heavy duty into the electronics. So I had this life of just building interesting projects and doing weird, far out things my whole life.
Wozniak's curious nature was nurtured by his father, an engineer for Lockheed.
Whenever I had a question, he would help me learn what I had a question about, whether it was atoms or space or stars or electronics.
But Woz wasn't just your average geek.
I was on swim teams for my school and earned a block letter, and I was on track in my school and played a lot of, if I played football with my friends, I was always the star, and baseball, I was the all-star. I had a really good sports education, so I did that. I wasn't like a nerd who also is just sort of too weak to ever even to be going out and doing one of the school varsity teams.
His deep-rooted diligence and athleticism earned him rock star recognition during his early years, but by junior high, it had worn off.
And all of a sudden, I was kind of left out of other people's thinking. So a lot of my development towards real computers happened in that time.
Woz spent that time honing his craft until a fateful introduction by a high school friend changed his life forever.
He said, you've got to meet this other guy, Steve Jobs, because he goes to our high school, Homestead High School in Cupertino, and he knows electronics and digital electronics, and he also liked pranks. He had done some pranks at the high school, and I was well known for always looking for pranks to do. So Steve and I met, and we discussed things, and wow, we hit it off.
In January of 1973, while attending UC Berkeley, Steve landed his dream job with Hewlett-Packard.
They hired me to design their handheld scientific calculators. And this was like the greatest product in the world. It was like the iPhone is today. The HP 35 calculator, the first scientific handheld calculator ever. That's the one that changed everything for the world. This calculator cost $400 when it was new, the HP 35. $400 in today's money, what is that? $2,000. So they were very valuable. And then I was working on designing some of the chips that were in these calculators from Hewlett-Packard. Yeah, it was a real highlight of my life. One of the greatest companies in the world, and I wanted to work there forever. I would be an engineer for life at Hewlett-Packard.
Lucky for us, that was not the case. Jobs convinced Woz to go into business, and it was a match made in high-tech heaven. In 1976, they launched Apple Computers and debuted the Apple I at the Homebrew Computer Club, a DIY gathering for like-minded engineers. It caused a commotion.
That kicked off the inspiration that caused a lot of people to start believing we could have a computer in the home someday. And when we started talking about it, we were thinking an ugly little box like this would be in people's homes, if you can believe that. No, it had to be a little different.
Wozniak's design genius, paired with Jobs' marketing magic, proved to be a fruitful collaboration. Apple II hit the market and changed the landscape of personal computers.
We both knew this was a change in the world, and we got, chilled, and we knew that was a eureka moment. We knew this product you don't give away. This is going to be the big hot one of all time. These were the 3 early personal computers, and that people started buying at an affordable cost. They could all do the same thing. You could write your own programs. So they were very good. It's just that the Apple II was the exceptional one that had color and graphics and games and expandability galore. So that's where we really got the lead and took over the world with the Apple II.
With a cult-like following, Apple became one of the most powerful companies on the planet. But Wozniak never aspired to world domination.
I was having fun. I think Steve had a lot more of the business mentality, and I avoided the business mentality because I'd come up just believing that, big businessmen, a lot of wealth and the greed that goes with it, it corrupts you.
Despite his humility, the fame and accolades kept coming, and in 1985 he and Jobs were awarded the National Medal of Technology and Innovation by President Reagan.
Never ever dreamed of being this big. When I did the important stuff at Apple that gets me here, I was so shy. I wouldn't even talk to people. And then when I went to shows, computer shows, and people came up and said, "Can I have your autograph?" I thought, you don't ask engineers for autographs.
Unfazed by his phenomenal success, Wozniak went back to UC Berkeley and finished his degree in engineering. He also taught fifth graders and sponsored music festivals, including one of the first U.S. rock concerts in Russia with the late Bay Area legend Bill Graham.
Bill contacted me, gave me the impression he'd been contacted by the Soviets with this opportunity, and I picked up from his voice that it was something he'd been wanting to do for a long, long time. It was a major move, kind of a change to the world, a significant event.
And within a minute, his first major question was, "Can I have 4 tickets?" I'll never forget that. Within the first minute, "Can I have 4 tickets?"
The notoriously hard-nosed New Yorker was won over by Steve's modesty.
I think Steve is basically a trusting, honest, decent, good person. I know that what he represents is quality.
And loyalty. Wozniak's generosity is evident in his hometown.
I grew up in San Jose. Every school I ever went to, when they call and ask for money and contributions, I would give it to those schools because it's where I came from. And I was born in the city of San Jose, and I cared so much about that city. And now I'd helped create a great museum there. And so I did the same thing, contributing the early big seed money for the Tech of San Jose and the ballet company. And, to get these, to kind of like my city, help it grow up in the direction of a San Francisco, culturally.
From whiz kid to celebrated icon to beloved philanthropist, Steve Wozniak's humbled spirit and infectious curiosity is what endears him to his many fans. What is the secret to his success?
The best thing is don't get attached to things have to turn out a certain way. The world just kind of flows, and whichever way it goes is right. It's just how it went. But really the keys to my happiness came about when I was about 18 to 20 years old, working it out in my head, what kind of person I'd be. From then on, I had the keys to happiness, and all this other stuff didn't matter. Apple success and that. I would be designing neat things no matter what.